most important events in our history, the death of Queen Elizabeth II. She was admired as our monarch in most parts of the world, and today this assembly will mark our respect as a school community for our beloved Queen as we recognise the fine example she has set for us all. In the words of former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, we have lost not just our monarch, but the matriarch of our nation, the figure who more than any other brought our country together. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, daughter of Prince Albert and Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, was born on April 21st, 1926 in London. Her early life was very different to ordinary children. She never attended school and instead was taught privately by tutors, with only her sister for support and companionship. She was educated in constitutional history and law, as well as studying music, and was fluent in French. In 1936, her life changed forever when her uncle gave up the throne and abdicated. Her father became king, and she then became a princess and heir to the throne. Princess Elizabeth was only 13 when the war broke out, and alongside her sister was evacuated from London to live in Windsor. But when she turned 18 in 1944, she insisted upon joining the Auxiliary Territorial Service, the women's branch of the British Army. The ATS provided crucial support during the war, with its members serving as radio operators, drivers, mechanics, and anti-aircraft gunners. Additionally, the Princess was Colonel-in-Chief of 16 British Army regiments and corps, amongst other Commonwealth units, and ultimately qualified as a mechanic in April of 1945, as the newspapers at the time dubbed her Princess Ultra Mechanic. On her 21st birthday in 1947, Princess Elizabeth was with her parents and younger sister on a tour of South Africa. We will now play you a short clip of the Princess's official dedication of her life to the service of the Commonwealth over a radio broadcast from Cape Town.
It wasn't until 6 years later, in 1953, when the Queen was officially crowned at the age of 27. Elizabeth was the longest lived British monarch and the second longest reigning sovereign in the world history. Throughout her reign, she worked with 15 UK Prime Ministers and was the first British monarch to address Congress. Queen Elizabeth has been credited with being one of the greatest supporters of charity work in the world, supporting more than 6,000 British charities, making it a special focus of her life to reduce poverty. In total, during the Queen's reign, the royal family aided over 3,000 charities and raised over £1.4 billion. A service this long entailed celebrations of her silver, ruby, gold, diamond, sapphire and platinum jubilees, with the platinum jubilee being celebrated back in February of this year. In the year of her 25th and again for her 50th anniversary, she toured an estimated 56,000 miles around the Commonwealth to celebrate in countries such as Australia, New Zealand and Fiji. In addition to this, the Queen requested the Silver Appeal, where the public showed their affections through raising funds to support young people, and in particular, encouraging people to serve others within their communities. The Queen's first pony was given to her by her grandfather, King George V, a Shetland called Peggy, marking the beginning of her lifelong love of horses. Her Majesty became hugely knowledgeable as a rider, owner and breeder of horses, and was still riding well into her 90s. She also owned over 30 corgis in her lifetime, and single-handedly created a market for the corgi breed. The Queen also famously did a skit with Daniel Craig for the opening ceremony of the London 2012 Olympics. She did this without telling anyone in the royal family and surprised them all on the day. Queen Elizabeth met her mother, Prince Philip, in 1933, but it was not until 1947 when the young couple got married. The couple had 4 kids: King Charles III, former Prince of Wales, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and Princess Andrew, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex.
Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, was Queen Elizabeth II's husband, and he was born on the 10th of June 1921. He was given multiple titles, including Duke of Edinburgh in 1947, and Prince of the UK, which was given to him by the Queen in 1957. He was not titled King, however, due to parliamentary rules. He was on active service in the Royal Navy during World War II, and after the war he also learned how to fly many types of aircraft. He also wrote many books during his lifetime, on environmental, technological, equestrian and animal subjects. Over the course of his life, he was also involved in 992 organisations, focusing around his interests in scientific and technological research and development, the welfare of young people, education, the environment and encouraging sports. He also founded the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme in the post-war era to bridge the gap between leaving school at 15 and entering national service at 18, to allow young men to find interests, gain confidence and a sense of purpose that will support them in their future. It evolved to extend the age limits and to involve everyone within this. Currently, over 130 countries and territories offer Duke of Edinburgh programmes. His longest charitable commitment was with Outward Bound, a charity which our school has ties with. He was chairman and patron of this charity. It's an organisation committed to the development of young people through learning and adventure in the wild. Prince Philip passed away on the 9th of April 2021 at the age of 99, having completed 22,219 solo engagements and 5,493 speeches from 1952. Princess Anne is Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth's second child and their only daughter. She's 72 years old and she's 16th in line to the throne, and she's been British Princess Royal since 1987. Her equestrian career saw her compete in the 1976 Montreal Olympic Games as a member of the British equestrian team. She has also been president of Save the Children UK since 1970, and she's also closely involved with the creation of several charities and is patron of the Scottish rugby team and the Northern Lighthouse Board. Last year, Princess Anne visited Oban in aid of the celebration of Oban Games and the Argyllshire Gatherings' 150th anniversary. As part of her visit, she visited Oban High School and was given a tour of all the school facilities, as well as enjoying several performances from our traditional School of Music and School of Dance, and meeting the engineering class and receiving a jar of honey from the beekeeping class. This was a very proud day for our whole school community. Following in her mother's steps, Princess Anne is very dedicated to her royal duties, and she has a schedule of attending an average of 3 public events every day. For example, after not only visiting the Argyllshire Gatherings and Oban High School one day, she then flew down to Kent in the same evening for a third event.
King Charles III was the Prince of Wales before his recent proclamation to the throne. He is the oldest person in history to ever take the throne. He was the first heir to the throne to get a university degree, which was at Cambridge, while also becoming a qualified Air Force pilot. He's also done a lot of charity work, such as founding the Prince's Trust in 1976. This is a charity which helps young people get their life back on track after struggling in places like schools or if they struggle to find employment. He has also worked hard to help environmental issues. He is a very avid gardener and has been said that he talks to his plants. He is an advocate of organic farming and is opposed to genetically modified foods. He has a company, Dutch Originals, which distributes food and goods produced ethically. The death of the Queen initiated Operation London Bridge, an official 10-day mourning period for the entire country. This entails several military displays, and as most of you will know by now, on Monday we will have a bank holiday in order to hold a state funeral for the Queen. Many businesses and the school will be closed on this day as a mark of respect.
Despite the Queen's grand surroundings, she was a humble person with an outstanding understanding of life outside in the real world. And as we remember and acknowledge her commitment to our country for over 70 years, we pass on to her successor and eldest child, King Charles III, with support and high hopes for him to continue in her footsteps. We thank you all for listening today, and Mr. Champion has sent out a few links for these surveys. Please now complete these with your class teachers.